Okay, Marcus, how you doing? This is public radio, Radionica from Bogota, Colombia. Like
All
I
right,
told you before,
greetings.
I met you back in the 2001 when you came for the first time to Colombia, and now you
All
came so
right.
many times, man. This is like your second house.
Shit, this is like 22 years ago, was that?
Yes,
20
20.
something years ago. That is a long time ago.
It was 22 years ago that I met you guys. We went to Mexico, to Argentina, Chile, Bogota,
All right.
with Milky on the soundboard. Remember, he broke his leg.
Yeah, well, I remember Milky. I saw them from time to time working with other bands,
And
But we got a totally different crew now.
yeah, yes, I can
But I
tell you.
remember Milky, yeah.
Okay, I was the one that took him to the hospital.
Yeah. What was that about? Something. Why was he in the hospital? Actually.
He broke his leg.
All right, there you go. Because the you remember Squid?
Yeah, sure. You have so many shows, so many places. I understand that you don't remember that. It was my only tour. So.
I remember he got broken fingers because walking alone in Rio de Janeiro. That's what you shouldn't do. but he did, and then he had to pay for it. All right.
Okay, Marcus. So let's talk about Helloween.
Yeah.
I got a good news for you. Back in the 2021, you guys were number one in my top 50 list.
All right.
Above Gojira, KK Priest, At the Gates, and Carcass. So that was something else, man. Helloween number one in my show in the 2021.
Well, that's 3 years ago. 2 years, isn't it? Yeah.
But technically, after the pandemic, it's like the last year,
Yeah.
So I want to talk about that album, man. How was the experience, working with the two singers and everything? How you feel and how the band feel?
Yeah, I mean, that was strange. We started rehearsing. We started creating the songs in the studio. Everybody together with like a couple of with two producers and technicians. We were like 10 people, and suddenly we weren't allowed because they had this rule going on that they had this rule. Suddenly you weren't allowed to hang out with so many people, so we had to split up in different studios, and we were working separate, which we did before actually, when Andy was working with Mikey in Tenerife Island, and I was working in Hamburg on a bass, so I was used to work like this. But this time we wanted to make it different, hanging out in the studio together, and then the pandemic suddenly jumped in and totally destroyed the plans we had. So, but it wouldn't affect the songs because most of the songs were already done and rehearsed and written. So it just needed to be recorded proper. And then we were just recording in very, very different studios. And it was kind of working, and I love this record because I never knew what's going on with the vocals, who's singing what part and whose singer is singing which song is sang by which singer. And when I heard the end results, it was really, really interesting for me listening to where all those people were singing. I didn't have an idea because they checked it out in Tenerife Island, and I wasn't really involved into that vocal kind of thing, So it was when I heard that record the very, very first time, I was really, really surprised,
And who select the singer? For example, you wrote Indestructible. You go, hey, Andy sings here and you sing there, or how it works?
No, I didn't tell them anything. I just left it up to the singers or the producers or whatsoever. I thought whoever's gonna like it, whoever's gonna grabbing a verse or like a chorus line should go for it. I left it totally open. I didn't say anything at all.
Wow.
So that was kind of interesting. They were building it up so they had like equal parts to sing on the full record, so to say, equal amounts of verses and songs and so on. I mean, And I didn't say anything to anybody. I just was throwing in the song, and then let's see what happened, And that's kind of cool. They did it very good. I was just like very, very surprised in a very good way.
Totally. You're certainly right. The final results were perfect, man. What a great album. And how was working with the two producers? You worked with two producers because the situation?
Yeah, well, we wanted to make something very, very different. And also it's been mixed by a third producer, right?
Wow.
And we just wanted to do things a little different here and there, because we went back in the studio with everybody working on the tracks. And then we had Dennis Ward working with us, creating some good ideas for the songs here and there, putting it all together. And it was kind of a musical director, so to say. It was something very, very interesting. And then Charlie was there keeping the whole thing together, while Dennis was working with us a lot on the tracks, on little bits and pieces. And when it came to the pandemic time, when we weren't allowed to be together in the studio with so many people, I decided to record the stuff with him, because he's a hell of a bass player too. He's got a very, very, very good style of bass playing, and it's good to have a really good bass player who's actually playing better than yourself. Yeah. He's actually playing much better than yourself. Having him as a producer for the bass, recording the bass, it's great.
Excellent.
So we were, how do you say? It was just like matching up and teaming up, and it was great. And next time I'm going to do it the same way,
Markus, like I told you, this brand new album have a lot of success in the whole world. Even here in Colombia, was #1 in my show, and I was paying attention that the normal album have 12 songs, but there is a special edition with 16 songs. So that means that you have like an inspiration for this album. So many songs. How this work? Each member of the band wrote the song and put them on the table. Or how that worked, because that's so many songs.
Yeah, there were even more songs and ideas, but you could only work on those so many songs, because we're like a lot of songwriters now. We're like 5 songwriters in the band.
Right, yeah, I understand, yeah.
You get a hell of a lot of ideas and finished songs and half-finished songs and riffing and melodies and all that. We sit together listening to all this. Takes you a full day, and then you go home thinking, fuck, this is a lot. What was that again? You almost forget what you started with. Then of course we taped all of those ideas, taking it home, and then we gave us a month time for like listening to all those ideas to get an idea what the album would be. It takes a lot of time if you have so many stuff. It's not an easy way, but it's very effective in a way. You actually need time to get all the songs in your head and thinking about if this is good enough for the record, or if it would fit on the good record the way that we have it in our head. It's a complicated process, but it's working out very well. It's different with 2 more people writing songs now, but we go for it. We like it. It's our job. It's our passion. This is what we do, and we do things different when the situation is very different.
You guys did it right. Markus, back in the 80s, the capital of metal was Los Angeles, California. And now we can say easily that the capital of metal in the world is Germany. So you guys have to be very proud that right in this moment, you are #1 with this brand new album in your hometown, Germany. Hey, what a radical time for Helloween.
I like this a lot. I mean, the venue we play in Hamburg, we sell out, and I go over the street and have a couple of beers at my home with some friends, This is right where I live. I like it a lot. No, it's cool, you know. But I still remember those good old LA times. We're hanging out at the Rainbow, you know, because
Yeah.
we were there for like 2 or 3 weeks rehearsing for Japan. We had like a big tour as a support band and playing 1 hour something, and then right after this, we went to Japan. But we needed 1 more hour to for the headline show, and we rehearsed in LA and went out every night, you know. I remember this good old times.
Markus, you are coming back to Bogota next April 15 to the Masters of Rock with Keys, with Scorpions, with Purple, Saxon. How do you feel to be in this first edition of the Masters of Rock right here in Bogota?
I love doing this, you know. Those are all our heroes. This is the music. This is the bands we've been grown up with. We've been listening to. We've been aiming for doing something like this, you know. And now playing with them is a great honor for us. You know, it's still. But one thing I think is very funny. We're now almost in our 60s, and then still we're on this billing. We're kind of the youngsters still, you know. You got to be 60 to almost 60 to be the youngsters of a billing like this, you know. Which is kind of cool. This is kind of cool. I kind of like it, and I'm having a laugh here. But I love it, you know. It's a great dream come true being in a billing like this and doing what you love to do. It's as I always say, it's a passion. It's not a job. It's a passion. It's a life that's always in you, you know.
You're going to play in the stadium, you know, that is the most important place right here in Bogota, and you deserve it, man. It's a perfect place for a festival like the Masters of Rock.
Yeah, it's going to be nice. I kind of love it. I'll be there definitely, and torch the whole thing down, you know.
I was thinking, Markus, and I can bet you that you have been playing with every one of them, you know, with Kids, with Scorpions, with Deep Purple, with Saxon.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Definitely. We played with all of them. Like, also, like, was that 87, 88, 89, the Monsters of Rock, Castle Donington, and all those shows. Since there was Guns N' Roses, like, right after us, you know.
That's right. Yes, I remember that.
We were opening the Monsters of Rock, Castle Donington, and right as there was like just Guns N' Roses. A year later, they were headlining a thing like this.
Markus, the Germans are doing your things, you know, because the brand new albums of Scorpions is one of the best. Your brand new album is one of the best. You guys are doing your things right.
Yeah, well, they never forget how to rock, you know.
No, never.
doing it for such a long time, it's not getting easier writing songs, because sometimes I have riffs in my head and melodies I had in my head already long ago, and they've been recorded already. So you got to be careful what you write, what you put down, you know. But it's interesting. It's kind of challenging, always trying to find new ways of creating a song without repeating yourself after all those years, you know. You challenge yourself in a way.
Markus, before I let you go, what do you want to tell to the Colombians that have been following Helloween, or people like me that have been playing your music since their first times?
Oh, well, that make me very proud, you know. That's the message. And I thank God that people are still listening to us. And I thank the crowd that they are going for it, you know. Rock and roll is just like, as I said, therefore we all stand, the bands and the audience stand for, like, we got to play for freedom. We got to play for peace and love, you know. This is my message. This is what we really do need, although it sounds like very old-fashioned, but we're an old-fashioned band. So, you know, this is what we're standing for, and actually.
Well, Markus, thanks a lot for your time. You've been very kind, so I hope to see you here.
All right. Thank you. See you later.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Cheers. Bye-bye.